Here we go. Hey friends, hope you're having a great Sunday. So we are about to get started. Not that one, sweet girl. Let Daddy help you find it, okay? So we are going to be doing our meal prep salads in a jar. So when you pop on, be sure to give hearts, likes, and let's really get this thing going. Let's see if I can invite some folk here. Hey sis, how are you? Awesome. All right. Alrighty. Awesome. Cool. All right. Hey. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get this started. And you got to let me know if you went off and had your own prep stuff put together as well. So I have my mason jars ready to go. I've got 5 of them. I have a whole assortment of items that we're going to be using to get ourselves ready. So if you don't already know who I am, my name is Lydia Epic, and my family and I have been on a health and wellness journey. Goodness gracious. I guess really starting back in 2005. And from there, it's just slowly but surely evolved more and more and more. Hey there, Lydia. Hey, Alexis. Hey, Rebecca. And part of what we've done is that we've now incorporated just more and more healthful lifestyle habits, healthful ingredients, healthful modes of thinking, and that's part of what brought this class to life. So with what we're going to be making, we're going to be putting together, like I said, salads in a jar, and it's super easy. It's super simple, okay? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our quinoa cooking up. So we talked about having quinoa or brown rice, quick brown rice. And with quinoa, honestly, you can cook that up in about 10-15 minutes. So we're going to get that started first. So let me know as you're joining in, how has your day been? What's been going on with you? Here's my guy. So this past week has been a lot of fun. We came back from going to Colorado. It was a beautiful time there. I'd highly recommend it if you get a chance to go. Absolutely awesome. And so here we go. So I've got my dried quinoa. You can get this from the bulk section at Sprouts. You can get it at Kroger, Walmart. If you want to be super fancy, I'm pretty sure Whole Foods and Farmers Market has it, or Fresh Market has it as well. But yeah, it's just simply a grain. There it is, okay? And so it cooks up really nice, really quick and easy. So I'm just going to take this. Actually, I think this is I'm going to go with barley. So barley, quinoa, quick brown rice, anything that's going to cook in 10-15 minutes. I'm going to put it in my saucepan. Oh, cheers, mate. Thank you. So I'm going to put it in my saucepan. I'm going to use a couple cups of water. So you always want to do a ratio of 2 to 1. So whatever you're measuring off for your dried grains, you want to do twice as much water. It's a good starting point. Oh yeah. So quinoa, because that's going to be your tiny ones. I grabbed barley because I just love the look of barley. But yeah, quinoa, super good to say. Just put in just twice as much water as you have of the actual grain, and that's a good place to start. So I have, like I said, barley here. I grabbed something. We keep some different ones on lock here. And I'm going to put this one to sit on medium heat to high, and it's going to cook while we hang out. So I'm going to start up my timer as well. So I didn't put a timer in that picture because I figured I have a timer. I'll take care of both of us. So there we go. I'm going to set that and just keep it off to the side. Now typically with your grains, when you're cooking them up, you want for them to get to boiling, and then once it's boiling, to then bring it down to simmer. And then as it's simmering, it just kind of does its thing, and let it sit for about 10 minutes there. So that guy's off running, doing its own thing. The next part we're going to work on while that is cooking up is our veggies. We're excited. So good. So the veggies that I decided to choose for my 2 or 3 crisp veggies, because there was a whole list of them that were there. We like carrots, we like bell pepper, we like cucumber. We do English cucumber. So be sure to tell me in the bottom what it was that you decided to choose as your veggies, because I'd love to hear it. So to get started with that, I'm going to take my container, and whenever I'm washing up my fruits and veggies, we like to do a whole bunch of them at once. So we'll typically go to the grocery store and we'll get, or Costco is really where we get a lot of our organic produce. So we'll go there and we'll get grapes, we'll get apples, we'll get tomatoes, the rest of it. And we'll have it all together so that we can wash it all at once. So I get normally a pan about 4 times this big and just wash everything. So then that way, as the kids are getting in there or we're getting in there to eat stuff, it's ready to roll. I'm using Thieves Fruit and Veggie Wash, really great stuff. That has been, even with organic produce, there's so much residue that's on the veggies that we get. So anything you can do to help clean it up is super good. And it doesn't take a lot. I mean, it calls for what, a teaspoon to a gallon of water? This is maybe 3 cups. So I'm just gonna roll this around in it just to kind of help to clean it up. I'm gonna grab a towel real quick to clean it off. And so yeah, so we picked up some bell pepper to add to the set. Here we go. And so bell pepper is going to be in there. And then when we get our carrots, we get baby carrots. Here's a little thumbs or tip, okay? If you didn't know this, with carrots, you can get baby carrots, you can get baby cut carrots. We like to get baby carrots because it's actually a difference in flavor. So be on the lookout for that when you're looking at carrots, to get baby carrots versus baby cut. If you've gotten baby cut and go, this just tastes like a thick carrot, that's because it is, okay? And this is, of course, also organic. We get these from Costco, super good stuff. And then English cucumber is what we like to use. So I'm just gonna wash this in here. Yes, dear.
Harrison peed on your pillow.
That's okay. It's all right. We'll get him changed. It's all right. So you can go over.
He's getting a diaper change.
Okay, thank you. And we'll go over and we'll help him. Thank you. You can go over and help Daddy. Thanks. So here we go. So I'm going to clean off the cucumber. By the way, check the schedule if you're in the Limelight. That's the Facebook group for folk who are in my crew, in my pod. In there, we've got some really great classes coming up, so I think you'll want to check some of those out. So here we go with the English cucumber. So I'm going to just go ahead and cut all of this up. Same thing with the bell pepper. So, hey girl, how are you? Like I said, let me know what kind of veggies that you're working with and that you're getting prepped for your salad. Now, when I'm cutting these veggies up, because of the way that they're going to be sitting in these salads, in salad in a jar, I like to make them into cubes. So I'm going to chunk them. And so with chunking them, what that means is it's a lot easier for it to go in. And then as it pours out, then it's all nice and all together. If you want to be super fancy and go for slicing it, you could. But again, I like being able to just have it all lovely and chunked. Okay? So let that sit there. I'm going to actually put this in the container here. So the first one I'm going to cut up is some cucumber. Normally I would start with the vinaigrette, but since I have little people that just woke up, I'm going to be using some of this for them because my kids love cucumber. Okay. Go. Did you want some cucumber? No? You want hair? Do you think you want some cucumber? You want to eat it?
A little bit of cucumber.
Okay, a little bit of cucumber. There you go. All right. So you can get this one to your brother.
Okay.
And then this one is for you.
Okay.
Cool. Cheers. All right. So that's there. Let's get on to the real star of the show, because honestly, when you're making a salad in a jar, it cannot start until, ooh, nice. It cannot start until you do your vinaigrette first. So got my quinoa, barley. It's barley. I'm getting my barley up, and we're going to start with this vinaigrette. So here we go, friends. I'm going to use my small container to make my vinaigrette in. This is going to be really based on how much dressing you like to have on your salad. So I don't like for my salads to be drowning. If you want your salad to be just doused in vinaigrette, then I would say double the amount that I'm about to say. And then I'll also make sure to give you this recipe as a link so you can go back to it and check it out. So be sure to give some hearts and likes if you're going to be making this vinaigrette this week. Let's check it out. Okay, so first off, with apple cider vinegar. Please go. Thank you. And we get the big jug. Like I said, we like to get things in bulk. Cukes, bell peppers, mushrooms, carrots, baby potatoes, celery. That's awesome. Okay, so with this, we're going to be using 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Here we go. Bye-bye.
May I have some cucumber?
In just a moment, sweet girl. Okay, that's 1. And that's 2. So we keep apple cider vinegar on deck. This is one of those first things that we incorporated into our healthy pantry many moons ago. We get apple cider vinegar with the mother and just straight on use that. It's great for weight loss. It's great for blood sugar. If you like to make a master's tonic, that is what apple cider vinegar is comprised of. Hey girl, good to see you. Next up is honey. So when you're using honey, it's good to use local honey to your area. If you prefer not to use honey, you can use maple syrup as well. In terms of the health benefits for honey, it is great for a sore throat. This is one that I like to mix with Thieves Vitality or Lemon Vitality. Great for soothing the throat. Such good stuff. And then it also is helpful for an endurance boost. So instead of doing the Gatorades and the sports drinks and the rest of that, that honestly are just, yeah, they have the electrolytes, but it's not a healthy form for our bodies. It's not naturally derived. Honey, much better. Okay, so even with folk who are pregnant, going to the hospital, needing to have a little bit of energy boost, honey sticks, good stuff. So it's also natural antibacterial. So combining that with the oils does great things. It is one of our favorites for sweetening. So we actually got rid of all of our processed sugars, and so all we have now is honey and coconut sugar, maple syrup, and that's it. I don't think I missed anybody. Yeah, because we were doing agave nectar and went, you know, it's for us personally, it's too processed, so we just went without. So this is what we go with. Okay, so you're going to use a teaspoon of honey. There it is, teaspoon of honey. Oh my goodness, good stuff. Love apple cider vinegar and honey. This is such a great drink. Okay, so we've got that. Then next up is a half teaspoon of salt. Now I called out the pink Himalayan sea salt. We have a salt grinder because I'm one of those people who really likes to grind your salt in their pepper straight up fresh. It's just something I really enjoy doing. You can get pink Himalayan sea salt. I think it only will come in the chunks. I don't know if you can get it pre-ground. If you can, let me know. But this is something, again, you can get this now from Walmart. Walmart is really coming up. As well as Kroger and the rest of it. So I'm just going to use a little lid area here, and I'm going to grind some in. Now the wonderful thing about using pink Himalayan salt or Celtic salt is that it's naturally occurring salt. So you're not getting something that's being processed in a lab somewhere. The more you can get things back to nature, the better off you are. Okay? Cool, and now my quinoa is boiling, so I'm gonna bring it down and put a little cover on it. So be sure to check your quinoa. Be sure to check your barley. Okay. So with that naturally occurring salt, that means that you're having all of the great benefits, which means that it's naturally pH balancing. It helps with balancing your pH. It's also naturally mineral enhanced, so you're not adding things to it. Whatever it is that the good Lord put in there, that's what you're getting with that salt when you're using it. And it's also a great digestive aid, so perfect to go on our dressing as we're going to have all these yummy veggies. Okay, so I went ahead and, like I said, I ground it in there, and I do this all the time, even when I'm baking and I'm putting together a recipe. So I'm just going to grind it all up, measure it out into my little spoon measure, perfect, and then add it on in there. I can actually put a little bit more. Okay. If you're concerned about the salt and you'd rather keep that back, that's totally fine. And in fact, one of our other ingredients is a great substitute for when you're wanting to do a super low to no sodium type diet, okay? But next, turmeric. So turmeric, there we go. This is one again. Just buy it from the store straight on out. Whenever you're buying these ingredients, best to get them as organic as possible, because that means that you're not dealing with any of the pesticides and extra chemicals that could possibly damage your body. That's also part of how we got started with using oils and Young Living in particular, because of their organic process. It's called seed to seal. And the great thing about that process is that it ensures that whenever they're producing an oil, it's being distilled without any kind of chemicals or harmful components to it. The ground is organic, and they're not even using any kind of chemicals in any way, shape, or form on keeping those plants weeded and keeping the plants in a healthy balance. Okay, it's all about homeostasis. Homeostasis is life. So with turmeric, this is our Indian saffron. We're going to put in half a teaspoon of that, so same amount as we did with the salt. Indian turmeric or Indian saffron is great in terms of anti-inflammatory properties. Here we go. And many will use it as part of a dietary supplement. So some people will do turmeric teas or will make turmeric capsules. It's good stuff. Okay, so that's in there. Next up is onion powder. Okay, so this is the one that some people will use instead of salt to help with spicing and flavoring their foods. Now this is straight on onion powder, so there is no added sodium to it. It's not onion salt, it's straight onion powder. So what that means is that you're going to get all the great health benefits. Yes, it is absolutely amazing for our bodies. You get the health benefits of potassium, calcium, magnesium. Again, all naturally occurring in this, okay? When we're looking at any plants that are created, they're just so beautifully balanced. And so we're just using them and gleaning all the benefits of how they were originally made. That's the great thing about adopting a true foods diet or real foods diet. Raw would be amazing. Perhaps we will be there one day. But I do like to, again, have a few things that I cook. So here we go. Got my barley going. Okay. So this is a tablespoon of onion powder. Boom. In it goes. If you want to do onion powder in place of that salt that we had earlier where it was a half teaspoon of salt, you can do that and it'll be completely salt-free. It's a great way to do it. And it also means that instead of using things like Mrs. Dash, where you have kind of those extra sodium pieces in there, and they may even possibly have MSG, we just cut all that out. Because if we're wanting to heal and help our bodies to be stronger, we want to do so with as few chemicals as possible. Healthy is the goal. So everything we're doing is helping to add that up. And then last but certainly not least, oh my goodness, okay, lemon vitality oil. We're talking lemon vitality oil, not lemon juice. We're talking lemon vitality, not lemon zest. Here's the reason why. One, when you're using lemon vitality, and there's 2 drops in here, friends, okay, when you're using a lemon vitality oil, number one, it is the only oil that's been shown or has been certified as GMO and also certified for internal use. So when you're going off to the grocery store or on Amazon and you see essential oils, know that they are not deemed as safe for you to use internally, okay? So this, however, is. You can use this. The other great things about lemon oil, so just the same way that we were looking at all the wonderful properties of these different plants and how we're going, oh my goodness, this has a high antioxidant and this one's great for inflammatory issues. That is what you're finding whenever you're using an oil. You're getting all the benefits of lemon. And you're also getting it without the acidity of lemon juice. When you're getting lemon essential oil, it's coming from the rind, so it is pH neutral. So you can put this in your water every day and not worry about it breaking down your teeth. You can put it in a capsule, absolutely fantastic for weight balancing and metabolism. I also like to use it in my smoothies because it's a great pop and burst of flavor. So, so good. There we go. And then D-limonene, if you've not looked that up, super cleansing. Google it, D-limonene. I'll make sure to put that in the comments as well. Okay, so now all of this is mixed up, all lovely and ready to go. Last but certainly not least is extra virgin olive oil. Now, something to keep in mind when you're buying extra virgin olive oil, you want to make sure, there we go, that it is in fact 100% and is marked as truly extra virgin olive oil, because it is possible, same thing happens in the essential oils world, for something to be marked as pure and it's not actually pure. For it to be marked as extra virgin olive oil, or for it to be marked as 100%, or to be marked as organic, when in fact it doesn't actually require for the full measure to be truly organic. Okay, so that means you could be getting all sorts of other oils, even canola oil being added to extra virgin olive oil. So you really want to be mindful of where you're getting your oils from, whether it's your extra virgin olive oil or your essential oils. Again, it's the reason why I love and recommend Young Living. Cannot recommend them enough. So 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil going in. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to stir all this together, and this is our yummy vinaigrette. Now, if we were doing this without talking, we would easily whip this up in about 2 minutes. Easy, okay? So now I have this vinaigrette ready to go, so you can see it there. That's all of our goodness in there. There was one thing I forgot to mention about essential oils that does bear mentioning. And it is that they are natural amplifiers. I'm going, what in the world does that mean? So I've noticed a bit of a pattern. So if you use, let's say, a nutritive supplement, you have some sort of dietary supplement, it's one thing, but you add an essential oil to it, it amplifies its benefits. When you're praying is awesome. You pray and anoint, you anoint and pray, magnifies the benefits. When you add essential oils to your foods, so all the wonderful properties that we talked about with all these different ingredients in their beautiful raw natural form, it's amplifying it. So just adding those 2 drops of lemon vitality oil is doing just that. It's bringing vitality and extra life to what we're eating. So exciting. So that is now ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and load up my jars. So I'm going to get this out of the way here, clean up a little bit. So jar's ready. Go. So let me know what your favorite set of dressing ingredients are, what your favorite types of dressings are. And if you aren't already making your own dressings, I promise you there's a way for you to, number 1, create it, and number 2, add a vitality essential oil to it to make it amazing. Whether it's ginger vitality or lime vitality or citrus fresh vitality, tell me what your favorite dressings are and I'll be sure to respond with the corresponding best vitality oil to use. Good stuff, so you can keep this party rolling. All right, here we go with these, friends. So I'm making up 5 jars. So that way I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday taken care of in terms of salads, okay? So I'm just gonna pour a little bit of this into each of them. Get that going. If you want to add more to this flavor-wise, you're welcome to do so. And you don't need a whole lot. Unless, of course, like I said, you're one who likes to have your dressing or your salads completely doused in dressing, okay? There we go. So if you want to double this amount, I'll go back through everything again. You would do 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. You would do 1 teaspoon of honey or maple syrup, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of turmeric, 1 tablespoon onion powder, 2 drops of lemon vitality, 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and that's all there, okay? So there I go. I've got all those nicely measured out. So there. Happy go lucky. Boom. Okay? So we always start with the dressing first because the idea is that when we build up our salads, we're going to take them, turn them upside down to put them on a plate or into a bowl, and the dressing will naturally be on top. Okay? So that's there. So the next thing we're going to put in is our veggies. So I'm going to put these jars off to the side so we can keep chopping veggies. Here we go. Bring this on back. Whee. So my little people sounds like are good, so I'm just going to move in quick chop mode. Here we go. I'm going to actually just put all these different ingredients just in my little measuring cup. There it is, ready to go. Ooh, you like a berry vinaigrette? Okay, let's see. Berry. If it's straight berry, what kind of ingredients or items do you like to have on your salad? That'll also help. Because I'm thinking of some different directions for berry. I'm actually thinking lemon would be good, potentially citrus fresh as well. But it all depends on what direction you're going to go with the items that are on your salad. Good one. I also like to make a balsamic vinaigrette. That one's really, really good. Okay. Cool. So now I'm just getting all of my cucumber chunked up. I'm going to do the same thing with my carrots. Hey, ma'am. You want some more? Cool. I'm going to take a look at my friends over here and see how they are.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Coolness. All right. Yes, you can use rice instead of quinoa. You can. Just keep in mind that the amount of time it's going to take for it to cook up is going to be a little bit different depending on the kind of rice that you do. I prefer brown rice, and when I'm using brown rice, it normally will take about 30 to 45 minutes. And so, since my goal is to make this as short on time as possible, then that's why we were working with the barley of the quinoa instead. Cool. Okay. Another strange thing that I enjoy, yeah, the balsamic one is really good. I feel like you can do, I feel like it's not coriander. I know ginger is good for a kind of Oriental Asian style one. I'll have to think about what's used in that other one. Yeah. Okay. So I am also, like I said, when we started with our health journey, this was back in 2005. Ooh, very nice. Yes. Instapot. Instapot's so good. That would be the way to go. When we started back in 2005 on this, in terms of me really just stopping to consider what it was that I was eating, and then deciding to move meat out of the mix for the most part, I tried to keep my ingredients as simple as possible, and I tried to keep my meals as simple as possible, because over time I've learned to love to cook, but it was definitely not where I started. And then the other part of that is, what was it? Yeah, in terms of kitchen gadgets, because I could go nuts. So at this point, I've kind of gone to the, all right, I think if I add one more thing, I'm going to have to let something else go. And we actually did let go of a few different items. So we had a George Foreman grill. Remember the George Foreman grill? Yeah, I had to let that one go. Because we just weren't using it. That was the only thing. It wasn't that it was bad. We just weren't using it. But then there's Salad Shooter by Presto. Remember that? Yeah, we still have that, which is so funny. And when I checked recently, I noticed that my blender, my sweet blender, is going to be coming up on its 10th anniversary. We've had our blender for 10 years, and it's still running like a champ. It's good stuff. I like to go with and work with I love working with companies and working with groups where they're really thinking about the long haul and long term, and knowing that it's going to last and it's going to be quality. So important. So that's part of what we do. All right, friends. All right, so I've got my bell pepper and my cucumber all cut up. So I'm going to go ahead and add some bell peppers to these guys. Come back here and do the same thing with carrots. So, oops. Add that in there. And as you're adding in all of your different ingredients, keep in mind that you want to make sure you have enough for all of your different jars. Or, you know what? Toss it up. Mix it up. Lasagna jar? Ooh. You know what? That sounds like the, what is it? The roasted tomato basil. That recipe, oh my goodness, is so crazy good. I absolutely love it. It's a little bit more of a lengthier process. That one would take closer to an hour to do because you're roasting tomatoes first, but the process is just amazing and the results are phenomenal. So good. So you can make it into a soup, or you can do it without broth. And then when you're doing it without broth, you can use it as a marinara sauce. You can use it on pizza, if you like to make homemade pizza. There we go. What else do we do? But yeah, if you have it all lovely and chunked, you can use it like a bruschetta. So you can use it on toasted bread. So good. So there we go. 4 and 5. Awesome. So those are the jars loaded up. And so now everybody has cucumber. Cool. Yay. Awesome. Okay, so those guys are all done. So that's 2 veggies in there. Third one, here we go. Then we're also going to be adding in a protein. So the protein I opted to go with was chickpeas. If you want to go with black beans or even doing things like baked tofu, you can do that. I'm not sure how, I'm not exactly sure how chicken would hold up. I'm sure it'd hold up just fine. But like I said, I speak for what I know. And what I know is veggies. So we're going to do that. And that's so great that you can add mushrooms to your salads. I mean, granted, if I was making this just for me, I would add mushroom, but my people aren't really mushroom people. That's okay. Awesome. Barley is still rocking and rolling. So I'm just letting it sit here and do its thing. Okay. Now, carrots. You also want to keep in mind that whenever you're making a dish, to make it colorful. There's a reason why all these different fruits and veggies have such beautiful colors, because it's part of how we intuitively know that they're good for us. So we like to see the bright, vibrant colors. Even if you decide to cook up your veggies, you want to keep that color as bright and vibrant as possible. Okay? Here we are. Good, good, good. Let's see. And so let me know also, oh no, that's okay, yeah, I can surely do it. And then please let me know with meal prep if that's something that you do often or you've never done it before. We decided to adopt that this year just because we were looking at the schedule and realizing that things were going to get really, really busy. And so being able to have a whole bunch of meals ready to go ahead of time was super helpful. So even with this, this is a salad that I know is ready to rock. I do smoothies all the time, and those are really quick and easy as well. But it's lovely to know that this is a way to be able to get into just some happy raw veggies. But we'll do things like, for example, we'll prep some beans ahead of time, season it up, and then freeze it, or we'll have it ready in the fridge. So we just break it out and use it as needed. We of course like sweet potatoes, because those we can only have that ready in about 40 minutes or less. There we go. Oh, good. One more jar. And we're good to go. And that's right. This is what my jar looks like right now. So it's all nice and pretty. And then we'll do things like black bean salsa. We'll do things like rice, vegan fried rice, super, super good. And even soups. Here we go. Yes, dear.
Is it okay for Harrison to come out so Daddy can get me started for the movie, please?
If you're holding him, then that should be fine.
Okay.
Yep.
He is holding.
Here you go. Last one. Here we go. And that's right. I'm curious. Oh, trouble grocery shopping. Yeah, I think part of it, honestly, is I know part of it is figuring out what you want to make first. So even if it's a matter of taking a look at one meal, just meal prep for one meal, because technically we're always meal prepping for breakfast when you think about it. But for the rest of the meals of the day, just choose one. So go, okay, so for dinner, this is what we're going to be doing. You can make it as simple and as complicated as you want. I say start off simple and just keep it as one simple beat. So it means make 2 meals really big. So for example, minestrone soup and fried rice. Boom, that's it. And then when you have that, then you compare it with things like adding salads in a jar or steaming broccoli. Just different pieces along the way, but just start with something that's really just straight, simple, and basic that you can make in bulk that one time and then just parse that out over the week. But the big piece is figuring out what you want to cook first. That's always the trick of it. So, all right, so here are my jars. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Woo! All right, so let me pull this off. There's my happy quinoa. Barley. I keep calling it quinoa, but clearly it's barley. So I've got that. Then next up is beans. Yep. So you can prep your beans ahead of time if you like. Instapot is great for that. You can also go through and just do the quick and dirty route of buying up a can of beans. So we're kind of in transition on this. So if there are folk out there who are all about prepping their beans and getting dried beans, let me know. If you're wanting to do some serious cost savings, that is a way to do it. I mean, you can get a can of beans and it seems like, okay, yeah, it's pretty reasonable for, 80 cents a can, but you can get a big bag of beans and cook that up, and that's only about 75 cents, and that's gonna really, really make a world of difference. Cool. Okay, so there's my lovely chickpeas, also called garbanzo beans. Love their flavor. And so now I'm going to put that in each of my jars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. Awesome. I'm going to pull actually a little bit from this one, a little bit from this one. Now, it's not an exact science. You can make it as even or uneven as you like. Honestly, the whole idea is that you're now putting all these yummy ingredients together. So you have your healthy fats with your homemade vinaigrette. You have your yummy vegetables. You have your protein. Here we go. And boom. The next part of it would be to add in our quinoa and then also our greens. Okay, so go ahead and get my spoon here. Cool. So this is what barley looks like after you've cooked it up. So nice and happy. Okay. Now it does have a little bit of liquid left over. That's totally okay. And just kind of drain that off as you move it in. If you prefer for it to chill first before you add it, you can do that. I'm totally good with it being on here as is. That's just me. Okay. So I'm just going to plop that on. There we go. And the idea of adding the grain is that it's making this into a full and complete meal. Carbs are not the enemy. They are not the enemy. They should be treated and used with respect, and you're totally fine. Healthy carbs is where you're wanting to go because they actually help in that digestive process as well as giving you energy and bulk to whatever it is that you're eating. So if you're going, oh yeah, with breakfast jars, you can do things like overnight oats. That's a really, really great, a great thing to do. So you just take oats and then you would use either milk or yogurt. You can put in some different fruits as well. And that is a great way to prep for that. I was going to ask you guys if you were interested in doing a smoothie prep for the week. So that way you can look at some of the different oils that are paired well with different smoothies. Because as we mentioned before, I am all about lemon. Lemon is amazing. Here we go. So then I also like to use ones like Citrus Fresh and Lime because they have all sorts of really great properties to them. Cool. And I think everybody is good to go. Boom. Alright, so there are my different ones, okay? So here are the jars. Almost done, almost done. So the last part we're going to do on this is our greens. So you either bought a pouch of greens. Like I said, we just live at Costco. We like to get things in bulk because if we can get more bang for our buck, that's exactly what we do. So even with using the different wellness products, using our oils, that's the reason why we enjoy getting them in bulk. So for example, where's my little guy? Where'd you go? Here we go. So here's Lemon Vitality. Okay, this is what you get in a premium starter kit. It's 90 drops. Super good. Or you can get its twin, which is just straight on lemon. This is 300 drops. It is twice the cost for 3 times as much. Yes. So this is the one that we like to hang out and play with. And that means that when I'm using it, I know it's going to last me for months. I use it for all the things. Frozen smoothies don't have to necessarily be expensive. It just depends on what you decide to put in it. So if you want to get real exotic and do things like acai and goodness gracious, I'm trying to think of one of the other ones. Just kind of the really exotic fruits and things. It could possibly get expensive, but it doesn't have to be. It all depends on what you want to put in it. You could be totally good and just use apples and bananas and berries if you wanted to. So, or even using things like pineapple. Yeah, it all depends on what you want to put in it. Plus, you also want to think about what you're using to replace it and how long it's going to sustain you. So it's almost you're going to make sure that what you're putting into your smoothies and whatever you're putting into your salads or into your foods is going to fill you up. Because that honestly is where people end up getting frustrated. They're doing, I ate all of that and it cost me $12 and I'm still hungry, right? So finding ways to bulk up your meals in healthy ways is always a good option. Okay, so here we go. On the top, after the barley, I'm putting on some spinach. I use the spinach for salads. I use the spinach for smoothies. We use the spinach really for those two mainly. Yes. We used to do a pasta salad where we would take red beans, cannellini beans, and spinach and garlic and kind of cook that down and have it with pasta, and it was amazing. But our little people aren't keen on that, so we don't do it as often anymore. So I have this huge container of spinach, which I'm going to be using in multiple ways. So we like multi-use items. If I can use it 6 ways, I'm going to do it. So once I load that into the tops of these guys, then our salads in a jar are complete. That's it. That was it. So let me know out there as you're, yeah, you got it. As you are putting together your salads in a jar. So how's it looking? How are you feeling? Realize that you just created 5 salads for the week. I mean, seriously, it's so good. It's done. We're not even, I mean, we're technically at 45 minutes in. That's because it's kind of like walking and chewing. I don't apparently make salad dressing and talk very well at the same time. But nevertheless, okay? So, ta-da! There it is. Ready to rock, okay? And so we have all of our different ones put together. Super cute. Ready to go. And so now I can put them in the fridge. And all I have to do is that when it's time to have a meal, just grab it up, turn it over into my bowl, boom, done. Another option, if you'd like to add in some extra crunch and a little bit of protein, extra little bits of healthy fats, you can use nuts. You can also do in dried fruit, like I mentioned before. Just be mindful that with the dried fruit that it's not going to have, you want to do it with no sugar added as best as possible. So check the ingredients on there. Always good to check the ingredients. Make sure you're getting good stuff. So I'm going to just garnish these with a little bit on top as a fun little look. And we are done, friends. That's it. Okay. So thank you so much for joining and for tuning in. I hope this encouraged you and inspired you to go out there and to try a new recipe and to be willing to just do little simple pieces to be healthier each and every day. And part of it, again, is just realizing that it's just little steps. It's just little steps. And by incorporating things like whole foods, incorporating healthy ingredients, incorporating oils, you're amplifying what you're putting into your bodies so that we can be healthy, well, and strong. Because when you're healthy, we're all healthy. All right? So have a great Sunday. Can't wait to see your pictures. Be sure to take a picture of your drawers after you finish them up. Tag me in it so I can cheer you on. And have a great week. Bye.